Hello and welcome to the Wolf and the Raven episode 2. I'm Darth Sebius, and the wolf here with me is Blood of Azerheim, Sons of Fenris. Ian, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Awesome scenes. And we're going to be talking about the Slaanesh Daemon Prince Doomrider in all his crazy chromium revving glory, and the Master of the Hunt audio drama by Josh Reynolds, which is a lot of fun too. But without further ado, we should probably get the man here, and there's only one way we can do that. So, O great Lord Slaanesh, send forth your servant, the Demon Prince Doomrider. Let our enemies tremble in raptured awe before his fearsome visage. Grant them an exquisite death, and crushed beneath the flaming wheels of his chromium steed, permit them the ecstasy of being slaughtered by his throbbing demon sword and his pulsating gun of gushing plasma. Bestow on them one fleeting moment of pleasure as they stare in wonder and orgasmic delight at one of your finest, most divine creations before dying at his hand. O great Lord Slaanesh, for these reasons and many others that tease and titillate our imagination, we beseech you, send forth your servant, the Demon Prince Doomrider.
He likes cocaine.
Oh dear. So yeah.
Jesus fuck.
That is the ritual for summoning Doomrider.
Yeah, I need a stiff drink and a couple of protective seals after that one. That was wow.
Yes, I can feel myself channeling the Dark Prince a little bit there. So, Doomrider, he is a pretty funky chap. First appeared in White Dwarf 235 in 1999. We did a picture of the old page Wheels of Fire, him in all his glory. So, his history is rather wibbly wobbly in ways that only 40k can be. So there's a couple of options for you to take and think for yourself. So he appears as a Chaos Space Marine biker on a flaming demon bike of demonicness.
Of general demonicness and flames and throbbing swords.
Throbbing swords, spikes, heads being held on, gibbering and watching the eternities fly by. Always good. So he appears as a Chaos Space Marine, which is kind of weird for a Demon Prince, because Demon Princes are normally all shapes and sizes, but they've always had a few sort of model shapes that they seem to look like.
Yes.
Big chap with wings and stuff. Not normally a Chaos Space Marine.
Wings, big horns, cloven hooves tend to be the pretty common ones, but he decided, no, I like my bike too much.
As you do. As you do. It is a very pretty bike. It's got a twin-linked multi-melter on the front. Not many bikes have that.
Why not?
Why not? And no, I posed this question to Ian earlier. If you fire a blast of melter, there's a good chance he could drive into it.
But again, he is a Demon Prince and is thus protected by Demon Princiness.
The good old Demon Princiness. But yeah, so not happy with just the twin-linked multi-melter and the Demon Sword. He's also got a plasma gun and a bolt pistol that he hides somewhere, which is fairly awesome. So he was either one of the leaders of the bikers for the Emperor's Children that assaulted Holy Terror. That's one option. We've got an interesting conversion by the Duo Cocaine here, showing the old pre-heresy. That is the guy's name. The other artist conversion is Duo of Cocaine, and we see him on one of the old school Horus Heresy bikes with looks like a golden demonette on the front, which is kind of awesome.
Yes, he's on a jet bike, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's rather funky. So yeah, he's either an Emperor's child, possibly, but there's also the option that he could just be anyone from either a turned traitor during the time of the Scouring, which is obviously the big mopping up situation after the Terror debacle.
The big, very messy mopping up situation.
But yes, the Emperor's dead, but it's time for some spring cleaning.
Yes, let's burn every world they ever actually just even pointed a finger at.
So this is an interesting point, because I'd not really thought of this, but because it always seemed to be depicted as being Emperor's children to them associated with Slaanesh.
The idea is that most Slaanesh things are Emperor's children. I was getting to think about this. Since Slaanesh isn't just, the usual, tentacles and sex, it's actually a lot of different things, as we saw in, I believe it was Pilgrim, where that woman wanted to just get the painting perfect, and she went completely batshit.
Yep.
So if it's just a love of speed and maybe the adrenaline rush from speed, he could be a White Scar, a member of the Deathwing. It's not Deathwing, sorry, Ravenwing. Anything like that, or he could just be someone possessed by a demon lord that likes speed.
I love the idea of it, because again, it's not something that's sort of really mentioned massively until you get to the Garros or audio dramas.
Yes.
The amount of loyalists that have splinter factions that go.
Yeah, I really like that. The White Scars in one of the stories, there is a warrior lodge who is traitor in it.
Yeah. Stuff
like that.
The idea that he could be, a White Scars rider or anyone else is just awesome, because he can be anyone, and that's the whole Games Workshop and Black Library always say, here's a story, it's not the story.
Make it up for yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
So he always had the special rules, Wheels of Fire, which means he could jump essentially like an assault dude, so he's effectively not only speeding around, he's bouncing and bunny hopping all over the shop.
That's an image.
It is indeed. He was also summoned using the old summoning rules, so he actually had... I don't think he actually literally came out of someone, but there was some kind of proxy situation.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about a bit more in Master of the Hunt, because that's a beautiful summon.
Oh, yes.
On there.
Yes.
Also, he comes, he goes, which I think is like a wonderfully chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the perfect chaos rule. Nothing is... Like, there is no objective for Doomrider other than to ride his bike and kill folk, so why should he sit and play through an entire battle? He's just going to ride through the middle of it and then go away again.
Exactly. So if you happen to be rolling a 1 at any go, he's there. Bye-bye.
It's effectively like the old instability, the warp test you used to do for demons. I don't know if you still do. I'm not into the tabletop as much as I used to be. But demons could just explode or disappear now and again.
Yeah, well, I think demonic instability now is if they lose combat, whatever they lose it by, they take their get sad and disappear. He was only around for a bit. He turned up in White Dwarf, and I think he made it into the 3rd edition Chaos Spaceman Codex.
Yes.
But then 4th edition, and ever since he's been gone. Loads of people have made up rules for him. We can kind of go through them, but they all are variations on the general special rule he had before. There was another one added where... I don't know where this comes in when we will talk about this, but it was I do cocaine was the rule, I believe.
Yes.
You roll d6 and he gets various different frenzied or fleet or all different rules.
Aye, fleet is actually quite an interesting idea for him actually for rules.
His last appearance was in Master of the Hunt, which we will talk about a bit later. But there's a number of sides.
Yes.
To Doomrider. So we've got here we have the standard model that he was seen before. He's got the face of an angel, which is melting, apparently.
Which we shall talk about in the audiobook piece later.
Yeah, and the horns of a devil, as one does.
Yes, of course.
There's been some great conversions out there.
I have to give it up to the community converters that can go, I remember this guy back in the day, so I'm going to make a new one, and it's incredible what they come out with.
Yeah, so I've got the Freighter Thomas one up here with it's when he's standing up on the bike and he's got the cacophony.
Yeah.
Just kind of awesome.
Yeah, no, the great thing about Warhammer 40,000's community is you get these incredibly talented people that go out and say, I want to make something like this, and it just turns out so well. And
just the idea of him literally surfing on his bike is quite a nice image.
Of course.
And after it again, we saw the Dura of Cocaine's Horus Heresy jet bike.
Yes.
Just
which is a good point now that we're going back the times, especially when the Master of the Raven Wing appeared and he had a jet bike when they made a model of him finally. Why couldn't he have a jet bike?
Yeah, there is no reason to stop that. Because it can use anything that works fast. I didn't manage to get a picture of it, but I think there's a picture of him riding an Eldar jet bike in someone's conversion.
Why not? I mean, they did effectively create Slaanesh. I'm sure he has a couple of their toys lying around.
Exactly, it's going to be whatever goes the fastest. You can imagine him maybe even taking... were they Speed Boys? Is that what are the old?
Oh, yeah, I know the guys you're talking about. Speed Freaks. Speed Freaks.
That's it. Imagine him stealing a Speed Freaks bike, which is obviously only going to work with the sort of the orkiness going onto it. So maybe he's like stuffed in the saddle.
He's actually just uses demonic powers to collapse him down to action figure size and strapped him onto the handlebars.
Yeah, an orcish hood ornament. Why not?
Yes.
But so that's the apparently sensible side. Now you tell me. I said that with a straight face. We should probably talk about the silly side. We have a picture of here. Doomrider. See the gas coming out of exhaust? That's not promethium. It's cocaine.
Of course.
Obviously. We've also got a picture of him ordering coffee. Presumably, when asked what would he like in it, I think he's asking for cocaine. There's the picture of Dr. Roxo, which is like, this is just, I don't really understand where this came from.
We'll always make the cocaine jokes, but we don't know where this connection started, other than they're just both so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown, and, Doomrider are just that ridiculous that they must both like cocaine, or they are one and the same person. Very
possibly. But it's kind of Ghost Rider meets Charlie Sheen meets Spawn meets Dr. Roxo.
Yes. Yep. All the above.
Yes. But yeah, with anything, there seem to be two. There's the city side. There's sort of the more grim dark side that Games Workshop are pushing a bit more these days.
Mm-hmm.
But try and make sense of it. There are lots of combat stims and combat drugs, and these are things that, definitely the Fabius Bar and various other people.
Fabius Bile being very well known for the combat stims, drugs in general, bad stuff.
Yeah. So, it's kind of the reducto ad absurdum of that, dropping some Latin, actual Latin, not pig Imperial Latin. Just put an Easius on the end and it'll be fine.
Of course.
There's that, but it's the whole Slaanesh thing. Slaanesh seems to get boiled down to willies and boobies and all sorts of rude stuff. So when it comes to someone like Doomrider, it's drugs.
Yeah, of course, that must be the only reason. It's drugs, of course it's drugs. He rides a motorbike, and it's speed, and, speed, cocaine, meth, that's what it's going to be. No, he's the prime example of why Slaanesh isn't just about drugs, sex, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's the speed of the motorbike, it's the adrenaline rush of going really fast.
Just look at that face. That face doesn't look like a man on drugs.
Of course not! I'm not saying that he doesn't use drugs now. He is a Slaanesh demon prince. He can do what the hell he wants. But I think it was the pleasure and excessive speed.
Well, this is the thing. I think I don't know where he would have time to find a warp dealer, or B to pull over, to take any drugs.
He doesn't pull over. He just grabs the bag as he rides past through the warp, and then just stuffs it into his face.
Because it's the weird thing, Slaanesh, we talked about this earlier. It doesn't bother me in any way. And I know it makes people very happy, and it makes some people very sad the way things are taken. There
is some. I consider Slaanesh to be in the much more serious side rather than just the sex, drugs, and boobs.
Yeah.
But there's other people that just say it's hilarious because that's a lot of it. That's what that is. Fair enough, you do that. But it does bother a lot of people. I just leave people to it.
It's kind of fair enough, but do what you like. It's like people get very upset by Slash, and it's like, well, if people are enjoying writing a story, don't read the story if you don't want to read the story.
I write short stories, and I never get bothered when people, saying about that. You should leave it to the writers or something. I don't give a shit.
Right, I want addresses. I'll find them. I'm not having that. Just again, I will occasionally, as we do the Wolf and the Raven, I would just go, please go to Tumblr and read some of the wonderful
Yes,
stories.
I might actually get some more writing up sometime soon.
So yeah, he is the biker Demon Prince. Yes. Not in Demon Prince form, popping in and out of the warp, doing his thing. Is there anything you sort of wanted to add as an overview on the chat?
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head. He just drives around, causes destruction, and goes really fast.
Definitely. He is a particularly chaotic element of chaos.
Very good point. He is actually literally chaos incarnate. He just does what he wants.
Because it's almost surprising there isn't him. But there's always the chance with data slates and further supplements that he could turn back up. Like I think Cypher turned up again recently after everyone said, "Where on earth was he?"
Cypher was pitched as a really important character in terms of what's the sword? Is he a good guy or a bad guy? Then he's vanished.
Yeah, but he's ever so confusing between the heresy and that. So he may be someone we talk about in future, because there is a fantastic audio drama, Malediction, by CC Dunn, which is awesome scenes. Speaking of audio dramas, look at that beautiful segue there.
Yes. Well done, sir. You're getting good at this.
Thank you. Master of the Hunt. We can see the cover there. A beautiful picture of Kasaro on Mundrakan, throwing Moonfang some shapes. So Master of the Hunt by Josh Reynolds, which could basically have the subtitle of The Last Ride of Doomrider.
Yes. That would be Doomrider's last trip. Yes, that's effectively the story, isn't it?
Yeah. So a little bit of background, things you might not know before we get into it. Master of the Hunt. That's a title held traditionally by the fourth captain in the White Scars. He hunts down guys that have basically beaten them, which is you can imagine that not many people would know about the Master of the Hunt.
No, I can't imagine there's many left to go, oh hell, I've just won, the Master of the Hunt might come after me now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting position. I like these sort of characters that are much like the Lone Wolves and the Space Wolf armies and stuff like that are kind of set apart from the rest of the chapter in that way.
Definitely, because it's weird. We talk about the Horus Heresy quite a lot. We're talking 40k and Heresy, from the 30s to the 40s and all that stuff. But they're always, obviously they are always Legion because they're Legion, but it's such big things. There's something nice, especially it's explored a lot in the audio dramas. Is these singular characters doing their thing.
Yeah,
and that's nice because not all the Space Marines are together. They are in 40k. They're more like Master Chief than they are a Spartan army.
Yeah,
the one man.
Yeah.
Although obviously they do fight big battles as well. So he is the 5th Master of the Hunt coming after Doomrider. They get a new mission every 25 years and to hunt an enemy. Yeah, and the last 4 all got their heads taken and put on the front of his bike, which is not very nice.
No, of course not. Just to watch the torment of the warp for the rest of eternity.
See, that's one thing that's actually missing from the model that would be nice. If there ever is a new model, some heads on there would be quite cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Master of the Hunt. So we start on Shaka 6, which is like the White Scars are there. You got Sarah Khan. He's got his Stormseer and a few other guys on their bikes, and they're watching this huge column of Slaaneshi mad, buggy transport things. These are massive
transports. I think by the sound of it, these aren't just wee things. These are like ore carriers or something. They're huge.
It's sort of all different size. I imagine sort of the old Nod buggies from Command and Conquer, like things like Mad Max style.
Yeah. This is a very Mad Max thing, actually. Aye.
And we got them there. The White Scars are watching them come, looking at the Imperial Guard. And the Imperial Guard, to be fair, which is nice, you don't often see it, are looking nervous, but they are standing...
they're standing their ground. They're not being inferior, as they're pointed out in many stories.
But they may be a bit worried, because the White Scars have let 6 worlds up to this point.
Yes. Yes, how very kind of them.
Serving the Imperium. But there is a reason... Also, spoiler warning here, we're going to talk about the story and then...
I don't think there's a way not to talk about the story in this one, to be fair.
Yeah. Maybe the subtitle might have given it away as well.
And
the fact
very
that
possibly, you never know.
But yeah, so they've let 6 worlds burn, so basically the cultists can whip themselves up to such fury to get the attention of Slaanesh so they can summon Doomrider. So 6 worlds burn, so 1 Demon Prince can die. Interesting balance.
Yes, but bigger picture.
Bigger picture, yeah. After watching the Imperial Guard get slaughtered for a bit, they decide to suddenly ride in, and again they're riding in with all abandon for Imperial Guards. They're swinging.
No, they're like knocking down their barricades, swinging their swords around. There may have been a couple of allied decapitations there, but it's fine.
Friendly fire.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
When Space Marines are about. So yeah, basically they wing themselves into the column. There's some great descriptions of the movements of the bike.
Yes.
I know that's something that you wanted to talk about there.
Yeah, they actually talk about leading into the turns and, gunning it. And personal favourites when he actually stalls the bike on purpose to let it skid so you can jump from it. Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, that moment is one of it. It effectively pulls one of the proper down skids underneath the giant transport.
Yes.
And whop a melter bomb on the bottom.
Yes.
Genius.
Just perfect.
It's
what you expect a White Scars to be when it comes to bikes.
Definitely. And
just that good.
Glorious Road Rash 40k, essentially. Which would be an amazing game, Games Workshop. You're letting the IP go to everyone right now. Why not that?
Get it out there, mate. Get it out there.
So yeah, we're saying some of these vehicles must be massive, because at this point they jump inside the moving Fane Church of Slaanesh type thing. And inside we find it's completely hanging with chains. It's been decorated by Spawn and Hellraiser. It's a beautiful workshop. And there is one of the cultist leader wrapped in chains on an altar, wearing these. And I don't know when this became a thing, but there's in some of the dynamic books. There's in lots of things. These like normal labouring respirators and wielding masks and things take on such a demonic and horrible form.
They take on such a dark side to them. Yeah.
The big bug eyes and stuff.
Yeah, it's huge big bug eyes and a broken up Vox grill, all scarred up, I think it says.
Yeah. So that's kind of awesome. They're chanting, dancing, some of them naked, doing their thing. There could be various different expletive bodily fluids around, but again, it's not harped on about.
No, they say it just to add into the creepiness of it, but they don't go on about how disgusting it is. They just kind of let it sit there and let you think about it.
Yeah,
like the fact that the cultists are in such a frenzy at this point, they don't realise a 8 or 9 foot tall space marine dropping into the middle of them with a sword in his hand.
Yeah, they're fully giving it the YMCA.
Yeah,
they're lost to the music.
Yes.
But this is something we should talk about, because you hit them down the head. It is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Slaanesh. It's not a big orgy, and it's not just crazy, sexy fun times. This isn't
the weird snake orgy in Fulgrim when he finds a sword. This is just creepy.
Very creepy, and we had this awesome moment of seeing one White Scar take down basically a full unit. Cultists, because it's not something you often see that much of. It's normally you get a lot of Space Marine on Space Marine, demons on Space Marines.
Yeah,
and the cultists they just go.
I'll give it to the guy that tried to hit him with a chain glaive. That takes some balls, but it kind of emphasises the fact that a mortal, even with the backing of Chaos, isn't much of a match for a Space Marine.
Yeah, lots of smushing.
Yes. I'm pretty sure one of them got hacked up and then thrown at his friends as well.
Which is always fun. Using your enemy as a weapon is always...
Yeah, no, that's... I'm pretty sure the Codex Astartes doesn't support it, but I'm pretty sure it's a good tactic.
Well, when did anyone who wasn't an Ultramarine read that book?
Fair point. I am a space wolf after all, I know much in this.
Exactly. So, cultists getting smushed, then obviously it is time for Doomrider to come.
Yes.
And
after a bit of lengthy conversation.
Really creepy. Oh, they do have a chat.
They do have a nice chat with the, I'm guessing cult leader, but also surrogate womb to Doomrider.
Yeah. Kind of essentially, good luck, he's coming, he's going to go fast and beat you.
You thought you were hunting him, he was hunting you the whole time. He's going to go very fast. I'm pretty sure they say he's the master of the exhaust at one point. I was like, what?
Well, this is probably a good time to mention the balance of the absurd.
Yes, the balance of silly to serious.
Yeah, just hits it on the head. They're just mad.
This teeters the line in this, but again, actually, when I'm thinking about it now, when they talk about the master of the exhaust and stuff, when you consider that your average human, especially a cultist, probably doesn't know what the hell an exhaust is, and it's just magic.
Yep,
makes perfect sense to him.
Yeah, totally. But we were saying, like the way it sets it up, we really feel the world is there. There is a like realistic description of the whole column and the fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
There is this grim. There's this serious.
Oh, aye, because the Imperial Guard are getting wrecked.
Yeah. But to balance that with having something like Doomrider in it and the
Yeah.
stuff is really cleverly done and well balanced.
I have to give some serious respect to the writer for this, because he's done a very good job in keeping it as light-hearted as Doomrider can be, but as dark as possible in that respect as well.
Definitely. And so, speaking of dark, cultists.
Oh, yeah.
The remaining cultist skin starts sizzling like fat in a pan,
Yes.
and they start splitting open in some kind of the thing, body snatchers, womb horribleness.
Yes. The cult leader begins to twitch and burst open, and I believe they call it some sort of unnatural burst. There's a very good description, actually, which is terrifying, of Doomrider literally peeling the skin off this guy and, becoming the guy.
Emerging. Ooh,
yeah.
I think you said the White Scar looks on with cosmic revulsion. It's the rejection of reality.
That was it, the rejection of reality. It's so wrong. It's just that's the proper description you need of demon. It's just that wrong.
And it's just wonderfully creepy and horrible. And so Doomrider is here, and Doomrider on foot, which is nice. Like that's not something you ever would imagine.
Yeah, interesting part there is the fact he was on foot from the start of this. I was quite surprised by that.
Grabbing chains, bull whipping, accidentally smashing a cultist in the face.
Yeah, he accidentally pops a cultist's head off.
As you do.
No honor among demons.
It kind of that reminds me of the old Streets of Rage, the old crowbar. If you actually had your friend behind you, boom!
Oh, you'd nail them with it, yeah.
So they slug at each other. There's tit for tat, White Scar demon fighting, not really go anywhere until Doomrider kind of gives it that I want to play on my bike.
Yeah, there is some nice little references thrown in there when Kursoro Khan loses his sword to Doomrider, and Doomrider actually says the Khan always liked nice swords, and you start to get the feeling he is a lot older than they realise. He could have been there since like the birth of these legions.
Definitely, there's some great interplay between Doomrider and the White Scars, and it's one of the first things that's mentioned. Like they say he's been killing some of theirs, but there's a whole list. But then it's like being outridden. And it's
that's the big thing. It's not that they're dying; it's that they're being outridden by some damn demon.
It's just seriously embarrassing.
Oh, I can imagine, because they are the bike riders. There's no one better. I mean, the Ravenwing are the only thing close to them in terms of that.
And obviously, when Ravenwing and White Scar's bikers turn up together, they often get along.
No, they get along like a house on fire. Yes.
We found that out at Christmas.
Overly serious versus quite jovial doesn't really work.
No. So off they go on the mega highway, popping into. I think we pop into. This hive world is set in Judge Dredd.
Yes, this is effectively
the mega skyway in the highway.
Yeah. Fun note, actually, the bike is made out of the human skin, bent metal, and bones of the people in that room, and the wreckage of the transport.
Oh yeah, he has that moment. He's sort of like, okay, I'm bored of fighting now. So basically, clicks his fingers, and the remains.
The bike makes itself from what's around it, which is terrifying. It does actually mention on the chassis of the bike, or I'm guessing on the front end of the forks or something like that, the screaming faces of the people, the cultists, which was just beautiful.
Definitely, and it's actually described as being quite insectile as well. It's a very weird description. So
we're not talking. Yeah, we're not talking just the bike that was probably in his model originally. This thing is very much a kind of biomechanical style thing.
Yeah. So off down the mega road we go, playing Road Rash 40k, and again more cracking action sort of described. The Storm Talon, I like how more and more sort of newer things are being pushed into. We've got Storm Talon support.
They're trying their best to kind of, I wouldn't say crowbar in, but get them in place and make them sound good.
Yeah.
Hellbrutes were a big thing for a while, I remember that.
Yes.
And Storm Talons are now kind of getting in as well.
Yeah, so it was just Stormtown support. There's possibly one of my favourite moments of the book. There's a smashed Chimera, which Doomrider uses as a ramp.
Yes.
To land on top of a Storm Talon, smashing the canopy and killing
Now,
everyone.
of course, there's also a incredible guitar solo going on when he's doing this, because it's the only way it would work.
How have we not mentioned? As soon as the action kicks off and Doomrider is in, it is Slaanesh hair metal time.
Oh, yes. Motley Crue could not write a better soundtrack for this.
It reminds... It's like the first time you get inside the Halo, when you first start getting attacked by the Covenant in the first Halo game, and then you get the first...
Yes, that's...
Like,
yeah.
You know it's on. So yeah, like, do you want to say anything more about the fighting down the highway?
It's ridiculous and they can't keep up. There's flames everywhere. I'm pretty sure it mentions the fact he's literally just driving through the wreckage and it's just going in each direction.
Yeah, just like, cause yeah, not affected, just smashing through things.
Yeah. There's also a nice little bit about him when they're inside the carrier and he's just made his bike. He drives into the wall and his bike sort of reshapes itself so he can go up the wall and up the ceiling. I think that's all that really needs mentioned about that. It's just weird.
I do that is very cool. Other things. Well, we're saying about things that go inside. Stormseer gets his force lightning on, which is
yes,
nice to see.
It's really nice to see different chapters using their psychers.
Because that's wonderful thing. We could talk. This is another thing we could talk about another time. Is librarians and how different they are.
Yeah.
Because also you're like, what's a librarian? you don't like.
What is this thing you call a librarian? Is it like my rune priests?
Yeah, it's rune priests. I forget this rune priests and chaplains. What are your chaplains?
Wolf priests. They also take the place of apothecaries.
Oh, so they're literally all three in one.
No, you got the rune priest who is
rune priest and wolf priest. Yeah.
You get the rune priest, wolf priest, and iron priest. And there you go.
Yeah. Well, we may have to get into that another time because I still need to know more and more about the good old space Vikings. But yeah, Stormseer giving it the lightning. That's all good. So they can't catch up with them. How do you fight someone, and how do you have a fight when you just run away? It's a very odd situation.
Yeah, this actually brings up the whole Doomrider thing where he doesn't give a shit. No. He's just brain. Like, he finds it fun, but all he wants to really do is go fast.
He's born to be wild.
Yes, I'm sure I can make a playlist for this audiobook, I'm pretty sure.
But like he said, he probably is inspired by a lot of...
he's purely inspired by things like bands like Motorhead and stuff like that. They call him, what was it, the Lord of Speed or King of Speed and stuff like that?
Yeah. These
are just Motorhead song titles.
He's the living embodiment of some dirty speed metal going on.
Yeah, effectively, yeah, he's the living embodiment of just metal.
Yeah. So they're trying to catch up. They're cutting him off because that's all they can really do. Because he's just basically doing... It seems like he's almost basically doing laps.
He could be going round in circles around him and they wouldn't be able to catch him right now.
Yeah. So they basically knock him off the edge of the highway.
Yes.
Falling to their doom. I think Stormseer takes a little bit of a... and plans to be on the front of the bike.
Yeah.
Got them falling. Bit of a free fall fight. Bit of a tussle.
Yes, where Doomrider's going on about how the warp calls back to him, so he's really just bored now, so he's going to leave. And Corsaro Khan will not let him go at all. And does a Gandalf versus the Balrog and drops down after him.
Exactly. The big warp portal seems to open beneath them, so like it's time to act or nothing.
Yeah.
He says when he says bored now, he's like everything's so slow here. Not like there in the places where planets are born and die in the space of a second. It's just like the blink of an eye. Just amazing. Because it's kind of a weird, whimsical, philosophical side to Doomrider in a weird way, which I never thought would come out of my mouth.
No, this is the thing with Doomrider. When you hear about him, see the model, and that, you're like, this is the dumbest thing. But the writer, Josh Reynolds, wasn't it?
Yeah, Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, he did a great job of making him an actual fleshed out character, more than just the idea he's really fast and likes cocaine.
Yes, not one penis, cocaine, or breast in the entire.
No throbbing swords either, or pulsing plasma guns.
Yeah.
Pulsating plasma, whatever it was.
Yes, we were saying, well, they like Games Workshop brought a little bit of it on themselves with that original summoning.
We were basically just thinking that this is when Games Workshop was on the edge of really stupid and then getting more serious.
Yeah.
Rogue Trader and earlier versions of 40k were very rock and roll and kind of a laugh. The orc, what were they called again? The headbanging orcs that actually had guitars.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And of course the Noise Marines actually had guitars at the time. They were, I think this is probably when they're just getting out of that phase. They're like, this character is so dumb and does not fit in with current ideas at all.
Yeah, but people are going to talk when you're talking about a throbbing demon sword and a pulsating gun of gushing plasma.
It's very tongue in cheek in that we are taking the piss.
Yeah.
When they made this guy.
Does remind me of the what used to be the Dark Vengeance back in the day. Yes, Foamy Vengeance.
Sticky Dark Vengeance and the Knight's Testes with their dong pattern bolters. I do remember that time.
Indeed. So, falling, taking you into the warp, that's going to be fun. He decides no, and basically throttles and then pulls the head.
Yes, in another kind of scene where there should be extreme power metal playing in the background.
Yeah.
He reaches down, grabs Doomrider's, keep in mind, flaming head, and pulls it from his body.
Pulls it off. This is the melting, constantly melting and reforming face of an angel with the demon horns. He pulls that off. Hopefully the Ceramite is keeping his mittens safe.
Yes.
But like this phrase is so basically he pulls it off, and we basically come to the end because
one of the Storm Talons manages to maneuver itself below him, so he lands on top of the Storm Talon, and he's holding the head.
Much more dainty than Doomrider.
Yes, of course. And when he looks at the head, it's actually still chattering and talking, which is just what you'd expect from Doomrider, because that's when they start to question, can he actually die, or have we just trapped him in the mortal realm now? So instead of listening to him anymore, Corsaro Khan rips his jaw off.
As you do.
Of course.
And it's one of the other white scars is just like, is he dead? Like, can we take this? Is this
the Khan's like, I don't care. He's going on a spike, and that's the end of it. I've had enough of this guy, and he's talking.
Dead enough to go on a spear tip. That's good enough for me.
Exactly.
And yeah, off they go, off they trot back to Chiguris to go. Yay, we got Demon Head. Mm-hmm. Now this, to me, is a point of contention and something I definitely want to talk about. So he says he's killed demons before, he's beheaded demons before, and demon princes even, and they're going to go ooh, like the Wicked Witch when water on her, and they go back to the warp. 6 to 10,000 years, you can take them out of the oven and they can start again.
Yeah.
But no, it's the possible immortal guy.
There's something about Doomrider. Perhaps this actually lends credence to the idea that I had a minute ago, where it's almost a Red Angel kind of deal, where it was a Space Marine that was possessed by Doomrider.
So yeah,
and it's the mortal remains of that. The mortal remains of that Marine, or it's what's keeping him locked in the mortal plane, this side of the warp.
No. Right, let's talk about this Red Angel thing because I know we mentioned it earlier, but it blew my mind when you said this. Like, people may remember the Red Angel from Fear to Tread. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to James Swallow as well. But he's the kind of the bloodthirster, and dances in front of the sun, and everyone goes crazy demon time.
Yes.
So he could affect anyone, and that's just amazing. Doomrider just could be anyone, and that's what.
Yeah, Doomrider could very well be anyone. I mean, it could be a Ulysses the Eternal deal for all we know. When he dies, another person takes on the mantle, effectively.
Oh,
never really know.
Because that would be great to have a story of it. Like, I don't know, maybe the head. Like, ideas now. The head like corrupting someone back at the fortress would be amazing.
Yeah, actually, is brings up some canon that I didn't know about, this sort of white road idea where they've just got the skulls of their enemies up in spikes.
Yeah.
I guess it's the road to the fortress monastery. But it'd be quite interesting to see pilgrims walking past this flaming demon face on a spike. I'm sure the noise would be much more like kind of a thing now.
Oh my god, like Britney Spears in South Park.
Yes! That's exactly what it is. That's exactly
horrible.
what it is.
So yeah, thus ends the story of Master of the Hunt, and yeah, it is quality.
Oh yeah,
There's a few things to pick up on, really, like we mentioned the music's a little bit, but the music and the effects are amazing.
Yeah. The music has some nice little kind of almost static sounding guitar, muted just strums and stuff like that, and it just keep my rhythm, not exactly playing chords, just keep my rhythm, and it's really well done, and it works very well with the story.
Definitely, the whole pacing of the whole thing is just feeds into it. Again, with like the bits of noise, like the bikes and the weapons, that they almost all work into the as they're supposed to, but it just doesn't always seem that way from Black.
Yeah, sometimes the Black Library, what was it Helian Rain, I believe, where the bike sounded a little bit like a scooter, or a high-powered lawnmower, sit-on lawnmower. This sounds like it's a big, beastly V-twin kind of 1400 engine or something like that off a old panhead Harley. It just sounds like an absolute.
And it sounds like you would imagine that bike.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like that sort of really brutal sound you'd imagine of a bike like that. It doesn't sound like a sports bike. This thing sounds so low and growly.
Definitely, and I've got to mention, I nearly jumped for joy the moment I started listening to it, because it's my man Toby Longworth doing the narration.
Yes,
and people that have seen me talk about audio dramas before will know that I'm.
You are quite a fan of Toby Longworth. I'm going to have to get in contact with him and ask him to just read one of my stories so you can die happy one day.
Mate, I don't think I can handle even the idea of that. But yeah, it's just he does. He sounds like, to me, that's what Space Marines sound like.
Yeah.
There is the interesting point that we have discussed, that when it comes to audio dramas, White Scars, Space Marines, and World Eaters kind of live in a cul-de-sac.
Clearly, the White Scars, the Space Wolves, and the World Eaters are just neighbours, because they all sound the same.
Which is kind of so, because
at the same time, I don't mind it as much, because I still remember the days of Thunder from Fenris, and we had that one Space Wolf that sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So.
I still quite like them from Doomseeker. But because it is kind of like, so you've got the White Scars from, they're essentially, it's Genghis Khan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's effectively the Mongol Empire. Chigoris is effectively the Mongol steppes. Yeah.
So, and then the World Eaters are kind of they're sort of Russian.
Actually, I don't know. I had this conversation a while ago with another person, and the thing is with the World Eaters, they never really say, but when they talk about slaves in gladiatorial arenas, you think more Roman. But then see, because they're slaves, they could be anything, which is why I think Karn had that really heavy Russian accent, which is perfect for him.
Karn has got a cracking voice in it, he is sounding good. And then the Space Wolves are obviously Scandinavian, and there is that sort of similar tone.
I kind of think it's like the entire kind of north half of Europe. So you've got Scandinavia, the Celtic stuff and all that mixed into it as well. Yeah.
Because going back to it, but in Betrayer, I think there's an apothecary, and he has got, because there's a proper variety of voices with all.
Yeah, actually, there is. I've just come to think of it. There is a lot of different accents going on there.
I love that. We're talking about the White Scars, getting sidetracked, but it happens.
We're good at that. We should just do a 6-hour podcast and we'll just ramble.
Very possibly. But yeah, there's lots of we've said the action is epic. There's all the creepiness is creepy. It's just I was not expecting it to be anywhere near as good.
No, I really wasn't expecting it to be this good. When I heard they were doing an audio story on Doomrider, I was like, oh god, you're delving into something that you do not know what you've created.
Definitely. It kind of went under my radar as well, because it came out in January.
Yeah, it did for me as well. Then when you mentioned, start talking about some of these forgotten guys, and then you said Doomrider, I was like, well, what's happened with him recently? That you mentioned the audiobook. I have to give it up to them. They really stepped up on sound design and voice acting, and just the general story was great. Actually, the sound of the bolt guns in this was brilliant. Yeah. Sometimes they sound really weak, but these things boom.
Sometimes they sound like machine guns in some stories. It's like, no.
No, these things they may fire like machine guns, but they would not sound like a machine gun. Yeah. This is like a cannon going off in front of your face.
Definitely. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to say it's a good 4.5. It
I agree.
Got the depth for a 5 for me, but it's a good 4.5 somewhere there.
I'd give them about the same. I'd maybe go for 5 just for the fact that it's Doomrider and they tackled some seriously weak material in that sense.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, my twist arm. Yeah, no, right. It's cracking. It's not. It doesn't have the depth of some of the Horus Heresy and the interplay of people and stuff.
However, we are talking about Doomrider here. Yeah. We can't expect Magna Carta or something out of this.
No. Yeah, it is quality, and I would definitely say I highly recommend.
No, definitely.
Getting hold of that.
It's a good bit of fun, and it's a really good piece of action. It's very well written action.
Definitely. Is there anything you kind of want to add about Doomrider or Master of the Hunt at all?
As for Master of the Hunt, I think great little story, very well done. For Doomrider, though, I did have one point, which I know this is kind of... This story was his big farewell. They kind of brought him back to kill him off. Yeah. But was there ever really a place for him in current 40k? Because we're talking such a grim, dark universe now. And Doomrider's this kind of quite light-hearted and silly idea.
So we see, I would have said 100%. Well, no, not 100%, but pretty much no. Before I heard this.
Then this story, exactly. They made him work in the darker sense, especially the way he's summoned. That's just. Actually, I think that summoning ritual was to retcon the summoning chant.
Yeah,
and just to make him seriously disturbing to have to bring out the warp. That's must be it.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But yeah, we'd intrigued to see what people think, whether they think he would fit in, because like we said.
Actually, yeah, I'd really appreciate some feedback on that one. Just let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm. Also, but if you want to get in touch with us, obviously, I'm darthsebius.com. You are bonavasheim.tumblr.
Yep, and sonsoffenders.tumblr.
And Sons of Fenris, don't forget, read the stories. It will make you very happy. I'm literally your hype man, and I like that. I'm your hype man, you're my scold, and it works. But we will be doing this for Allies Index, which is alliesindex.com, place for all things geeky gaming. And we'd love to hear from you, because we're thinking about doing some more Wolf and the Ravens. We kind of think the idea of a character and an audio drama kind of work quite well together, because it gives us some time to talk about and review, but also get into grips with the character. So we've had some ideas, maybe Cypher and Malediction would be interesting. But if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, please comment.
Don't give us like the 3 to 6 to 21 hour long novels. We're talking about the audio shorts here.
Yes, it's a bit more manageable. But yeah, because like we were thinking about, there's lots of lost characters, and we might be having a little look at them. And if there's anything you particularly like to see, do let us know. And yeah, I think we should probably bring it down there. And also remember, if you want to get involved in any way, you want to show models off, you want to review something, I don't know, want to share some rumours or get involved in any way.
If you even want to just jump into a podcast with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, more than welcome.
So yeah, just get hold of us on
as long as you have some sort of animal we can put in the name. Because we need to keep this theme going. We have a theme
into a title situation. But yes, so thank you for joining us, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have another one of these up, and we will see you soon. That's goodbye from me, Taddy bye. Goodbye from him.
Next winter, my friends.